Hello. There has been a lot of talk in the pagan realm about Wicca and how wonderful it is, on how flexible it is, how you can turn almost any concept into a Wiccan tradition. I have to disagree with this. You see, I don't believe that you should be able to turn anything and use that as a foundation stone for creating your own Wiccan tradition. The wonderful thing about paganism, yes, is its flexibility. It is open to many concepts. But we have people that are turning Jedism into a Wiccan tradition, and that bothers me a great deal. You see, I believe that if we have our doors open to anything and everything, that we are going to become so diluted that we are going to lose our foundations. And I have a wonderful book here. It's by Scott Cunningham. It's Living Wicca, a further companion. And in it, he has some very important things to say. I got to read one of his quotes here. I got to find it first. And this is about creating your own tradition. And here it is. If every Wiccan constantly reinvented every aspect of Wicca, tools, ritual forms, deity concepts, our religion as we know it will soon disappear. Lacking traditional forms and beliefs, it could hardly be passed on to others. To me, this means what he's saying is we can't just say, hey, welcome to Wicca, here's your tradition and all that. We got to say at some point this cannot be considered Wiccan slash pagan. Like I said, Jediism. There was one person that I know that was wanting to turn the Green Lantern Corps into a pagan belief system. And I have to admit, that would take a lot of dedication, because with the Green Lantern Corps, they believed it is your will that creates anything. And so you have to be very disciplined. And I like that. But, that is also pushing the limits, because you're taking a fictional concept, something that does not have really any connections to the earth, and saying that it can be Wiccan, it can be pagan. And so by using Scott Cunningham's book here, Living Wicca, Further Guide to the Solitary Practitioner, I want to explain why. In it, chapter, I believe it's 3, yes, your own tradition, and it's talking about creating your own path, on how you can create your own belief system. And so I decided that I was going to do a little of this with something that is extremely fictional, but can be considered earth-based, and see how this sounds. And so I would like to introduce to you the Power Ranger religion. Now, the first thing that Scott Cunningham talks about is you got to create, decide what deities you're going to follow. All right. So we're going to have an earth, air, water, fire, a spirit, magic, and war, gods and goddesses. Don't have to come up with the names, just got to assign them the color, because, they're all about certain colors. So you can take any pantheon that you want, and you can find the gods that they use for each particular element or facet, and you can assign it to that one. So, like Ares would be a good war god, so you could use the Greeks and such and so forth. Their tools. Well, there will be a coven, book of shadows. This is what the group would use. They would write down what they learned and build their traditions into that book of shadows. Then each elemental group will have their own personal book of shadows. They will have an anime, because remember, these are rangers, these are fighters, yes. And so they will have to have an anime for spiritual, offensive actions. They will have their wand. This is for use of magic. And so, offensive, defensive, Adame wand. Hey. Okay, there will be a coven altar, and on the coven altar will be their elemental symbols. So you would have a male and female of each element, and they would each provide a symbol of their element to place on the altar. And thus the altar would be a collection of their elemental symbols arranged on this altar, and that's how they will worship as a whole. They will each have a robe of their assigned color and a ring, which would represent their elemental or their purpose within the coven. The coven's mission is to learn of earth and magic, to protect the earth from harmful activities. Like I said, these are rangers, these are fighters. So they don't just always do, well, harm none. Sometimes they have to fight. The White Ranger would be the Coven Mother. She teaches magic, rituals, and the power of life. The Black Ranger would be the Coven Father. He teaches tactics, history, and ethics. For each of the elements, there will be a male and a female. This is to provide balance within the Coven. The Brown Rangers would be Earth. The two Yellow Rangers would be Air. Two Blue Rangers would be Water. Two Red Rangers for Fire. Two Green Rangers for Spirit. So that there is balance, they're covering all the elements. And for a basic ritual, when casting the circles, they would form a line, and they will go around their circle that they're creating 3 times. And in the end, they would stop when they get to their designated corner, so that they can call the elements. The Earth, of course, north, you know the locations. The 2 Spirit Rangers would be in the center where the altar is, and the last 2 people in this line as they create the circle would be the White and Black Ranger, or Mother Father of the Coven, in which they would conduct and start the ritual, and they would tell then to call the corners, and the 2 Rangers for each specific element would start to call the corners in unison. Okay, there we go. We have the Power Ranger religion. Can you take that seriously? Now, I know that, it could be done, but could you take serious a group of people going that they are Power Ranger Wiccans? Answer that question. And then you will know for yourself. Can you accept people taking any concept and throwing it into a Wiccan tradition and trying to be accepted into paganism? Okay? There we go. I would love to hear your responses. Take care. Be at peace.